Hello, everyone, and welcome to another webinar from DQ&A. I'm your host, Fabian, as usual, and I've brought with me my dear colleague, Zeno, and he's going to tell you a bit about Search Ads 360 today. He'll give you an introduction and tell you about the basics of the tool and how to work with it most efficiently. If you've got questions during the presentation, please don't hesitate to ask them in the chat. We'll answer all the questions right after the presentation has wrapped up. You will also, if you need to jump out during the presentation, we will also upload the whole webinar on YouTube afterwards, so you won't miss out on anything. With that said, I'm going to hand over to Zeno.
Thank you, Fabian. Hello, everyone. My name is Zeno, and today we are talking about Search Ads 360 as a search engine marketing platform. I give you an introduction into the tool and what the basics are, what you can do with it, how you can enhance your performance, and what else the tool gives you. So this is our agenda for today. So we start with a short intro, which we basically did. Then we are talking about why using a SEM platform. Then we are looking into the unified data, talking about measurement and bidding, and how you can automate your campaigns in creation, in bidding, in everything. And last but not least, look at this social integration. And as Fabian said, if you have any questions, just type them into the chat and we will answer them afterwards. All right, so yeah, I think you've already recognized this is us. Fabian is your host for today. He's account consultant with DQ&A, and I'm your presenter. I'm a GMP consultant focusing on search engine marketing platforms, and I'm going to start with SA360 right now. So the first question is, why using an SEM platform if you already have Google Ads or Bing Ads in place? So just imagine if you have a mid to large sized account with a few hundred or even a few thousand keywords or ads, you basically adjust them manually. So this costs a lot of time, especially if you have multiple engines like Google Ads and Bing Ads in place or anything else. So with an SEM platform, you can automate ad creation, find new keywords when adding a new product, automate your biddings and changes, and get an overview of how your performance is going to be with reporting. So you can save time for creation and campaign management, improve your performance with smart and automated bidding, and increase your department's efficiency with deeper insights and overall reportings. So SA360 isn't a replacement for Google Ads or Bing Ads or any other search engine. It just enhances your abilities and powers them basically up. So further, you only use one platform to control your entire accounts cross-engine and just at once. You have a deep integration within the GMP, like DV360, Data Studio, Analytics 360, etc. And it can be used basically by everyone, from small, medium to large enterprises. So what are the key difference just looking at Google Ads and SA360? So Google Ads gives you the ability to manage your ads and your campaigns through the interface or the editor. You have the ability to manage your clients or your accounts with an MCC account. You have basic reporting options, getting an Excel file, CSV, whatever. And you sometimes have a 24-hour delay in data visibility, just, for example, looking at audiences. You can optimize for multiple conversions, and Google Ads offers different conversions attribution optimizations. When it comes to SA360 as a SEM platform, you can manage your Google Ads, your Bing Ads, your Yahoo search engine within SA360 at once. You are able to manage multiple advertisers under one single agency network, with each advertiser having multiple engines accounts connected. You have advanced reporting options. We will come later to it. So you can basically report on all search engines, also on your social, in a one single report, which you can automatically generate and send to you or anyone else you want to show it to. You have real-time data visibility, and you can optimize for multiple conversions and values at once, not just a single one. And you have cross-channel conversion attribution and deduplication. So just think about, you have a bid strategy and you want to use this bid strategy in Bing and Google Ads at once, but you only want to target for one ROAS target. But we will come to it later. So when it comes to unified data, let's start with an overview and management of your campaigns in SA360. So implement all the data you want, and you have, for example, your conversions, you have your business data like promotions, you have your CRM data, you have your Facebook data. You can implement it in a simple way and use it, for example, for your formula columns, which basically can calculate the overall CPA for reporting or for your bidding. You get a customized view to see the performance at once with your personalized KPIs, so there's no need to switch around. You can label your campaigns and keywords to get faster and deeper insights at once. And you get, as I said, the advanced reports also with graphs automatically sent to you directly or sent to your client or your business partner directly. You can also export your data very easily for any other desired purposes. So when talking about business data, you can leverage external data to save time on reportings and be more efficient when so inputting your business data, including promotion schedule, product prices, and even more. This is just your BI data. You can save time with applying rules, filters to this for automation. You get better ROIs with optimal bids that take into account your business data. Optional report or outcomes into Data Studio is possible as well. So you basically see them all at once in your Data Studio, how you want to optimize it as well. So when it comes to measuring your data, what is important to you? So basically, every client, every business has flexible goals. So within SA360, you can weight your goals for each conversion event. There will be an example in the next slide I'm going to show you then. You further have the flexibility to decide how much an upper funnel action is valid or a lower funnel action is valid to you. The problem with lower funnel conversion in combination with bid strategies is, for example, that there isn't enough data for the algorithm to learn from. So while implementing soft conversions, for example, putting products into your shopping cart, you have more data for your bidding. And of course, you can make tests with different attribution models to get the best results. So as mentioned, for the custom weighted multi-source goals, where you can put into. So for example, you have a weighted revenue. So if someone is making a subscription via email, this has a revenue, let's say about 10 cents. If someone is going to call you, you give this a value of $15. If you have an analytics goal, so the person is spending 20 minutes or longer on one special site or on your whole website, you put a revenue towards it for €5, or your lifetime value depends on what your offline conversion upload is. So you can combine all of those and put it into a bid strategy, so the bid strategy can optimize to it, and you have enough data so the bid strategy can actually learn from it. What you also can do, as SA360 is working with so-called floodlights, besides Google Analytics goals or Google Ads conversions, you can put custom variables into them like zip codes to express your goals and use them in formulas or rules and also in bid strategies. So this gives you full flexibility on how your bid strategies are going to optimize. For example, specific regions when it comes to zip codes. Sign up, revenue, items, everything you can basically think of. So once you have a strong combination of your signals determined the success of your business, you need to think about attribution. So here data-driven attribution comes into place, and it's already implemented into SA360, so you don't need another tool for it. And the DDA model is training towards your data, looking for the touch points which actually influenced the user to convert. So, and this happens cross-channel, cross-engine, cross-device, all with Google's machine learning. So let's deep dive into bidding. So when talking about bidding, performance, visibility, branding, and of course, budget comes into place. So you can either optimize your bid strategies for ROI, ERS, or revenue by using smart bidding with your desired KPIs like CPA, impression share, or spending your marketing budget efficiently. So when talking about, just let me check, sorry. So you can basically, when talking about budget bid strategies, you can basically say, okay, my budget is 10,000 euros a month, but I have a CPA of 50 euros. So what the engine is basically doing, trying to spend the budget, but always to target your desired CPA. If your CPA can't get targeted, it's going to reduce bids and the outcome might be a bit less, but usually this works really, really well. So you can also use your Google Ads conversions within SA360. This basically is just focusing on mobile for the moment. So you can track your phone calls, put it into bid strategies. You can track your app installs and in-app actions, also for iOS or Android. You basically import everything which Google Ads gives you into SA360 and you put a smart bidding on it. You also can implement store visits and in-store conversions for it as well. Everything basically Google Ads gives you can be used in SA360. So mostly there's a question about what happens if I increase my CPA from 1 to 2 euros, for example. So basically, there's a crystal ball reading all around, or if you have some knowledge about it, but what happens if you start a new product and you just want to see, okay, what happens if I'm increasing my CPA target? So SA360 has a forecast already implemented, so you can just, with a drag and drop, and you can just see how it will increase your performance at the end, and also your costs. But furthermore, what happens if you increase your budget? So you have a scenario planner, which you can use just to get a forecast how your new budget, if you get more budget or less budget, has an impact on your current campaigns or new campaigns. You automatically can allocate your budget using prior performance or maximize conversions. Of course, you explore your ROI within graphs, and you have full control about your budget. So there's no more spent except what you actually say you want to spend. So let's look into the budget bid strategies. Basically, as I already said, you have a target spend, which is, let's say, 200,000 euros and for a year, and you want to spend it every month 12K. But you can also adjust it manually. When you say, okay, August is my highest impact, or when Christmas time is coming, I want to spend more, you can adjust it manually. And then the bid strategy is trying to spend this money against your desired KPIs, always in place. So what happens if you set up a bid strategy? And how are you going to make sure that everything is correct? So SA360 is also giving you an overview about your health of the bid strategy. It gives you an overall status, which says, okay, you have 10 minor issues, or you have big issues, for example, how you can fix it. And you also can say, okay, Google, please automatically repair my issues with it. But you still have full control over it, but it gives you an indication on how to fix stuff. So when talking about automation, we already said it about bid strategies, but there's even more. So just think about, you have a new product, you need to look for keywords, you need to write new ads, or you have a promotion in place and you need to adjust your ads. This takes plenty of time. So what Google SA360 basically gives you is you can automate everything from creating keywords, creating ads, creating whole campaigns, and this across accounts. So it's not just Google Ads, it's also Bing Ads. You can use it for Baidu, you can use it for Yahoo. So it's basically cross-channel where you can automate your creation of keywords and ads. But even more, I mean, basically everyone is creating ads in Google Ads. But then you have to create them into Bing Ads as well. As both systems don't work really similar, they are similar, but they don't really work the same way. Sometimes you need to adjust specific texts or something else manually. But SA360 just gives you the opportunity to copy-paste your campaigns from Google Ads to Bing Ads. So you save plenty of time with it as well. But also when it comes to campaign creation, keyword creation, ad creation, you can use inventory management. So even if you are a non-retailer, this of course works for retail businesses as well. You have a feed with all your products in it. You basically enable an inventory plan towards it and then just push it out into SA360. And regarding your rules, you are setting to it, let's say headline 1 always contains the product, headline 2 contains your brand, description line is getting the current discounts and whatnot, and also landing pages, all getting from one feed is going to be created automatically. Also the ad builder, as I already said, so this is a small overview how it's going to look like. You can type it manually. So if you have a static text, you can type in, for example, headline 1 should always be your brand. Headline 2 should be your product. So you put in a dynamic value and so on. So this basically works for the whole ad in all search ads engines. And you only need a single configuration and can apply it to your whole account. Of course, you can do more configurations if you have specific targets. You have a retail and a non-retail part on your website. Then you, of course, can do 2 different configurations and deploy them wherever you want to. But when it comes to automation, it's not only about bidding and also about creation. It's also about what happens if. So if you, for example, say, okay, I see there's a big spend on an account, but my campaign is limited by budget, you can apply a rule and say, okay, if the conversions are great for that one, please increase my budget. You can also say, okay, if a keyword isn't performing at all, please put a label on it and report it to me via email. So you basically don't really have the need to look into the account all the time and check everything by yourself. Basically, you can set up rules, so the system is going to notify you automatically. Last but not least, let's talk about social integration. So it's not only about search engines you can implement into SA360, you can also implement your Facebook account, for example. So you basically apply that your Facebook account is visible on SA360. You can import all the cost data you have. You further have the conversion tracking if, for example, on a last click, a conversion is done via Facebook. You see the conversion inside your account as well. And obviously, you can report on it. You don't need a reporting from Facebook and a separate one from Google Ads to get it all at once in SA360. And you also can remarket on your Facebook audience. So let's say you have a view through on social, then you have a click on search, then you have a click on social again, and search is basically your last touch point. You can see it with an attribution. You can see, okay, with the view through of social, this is when it comes to bidding, you say, okay, this is a DDA model. I'm applying bids into social because then the conversion didn't happen. But also, you can remark on people who actually clicked on your social ad. So on the right side of this screen, you see how it basically works with remarketing in SA360. So from search to display, this is tagless, obviously, because this is all happening in the Google area. Search to display as well, but when it comes to search and social, basically it's a sharing of the tag each other. So yes, that's basically everything we have for the moment for SA360. I hope it gives you an understanding about the tool, what the capabilities are. Of course, you can enhance everything. You can apply Google Cloud to it. You can connect it towards your DV360. You can automate even more. You get all your business data into. And the tool is quite easy to understand, and with more effort you put into it, the better results you will get at the end. So let's talk about questions. Fabian, are there any?
Not yet. So thanks, Tino, and thanks everyone for listening in. Are there any questions?
If you can come up with any questions for the moment, just let us know afterwards. I'm going to show you our contact details for the moment. So either write an email if you have, for example, your personal business related questions or any general questions, or just give us a quick phone call.
Yeah, and you've got Fabian at DQ&A and Tino at DQ&A to reach out to. You've got the info at DQ&A to reach out to, and you can also give us a call. Let's wait for another 2 minutes for any questions, if there's anything coming up. Until then,
Sorry.
Please go ahead.
I often do get a question, so how quickly can I set up a SA360 account? And the answer is, well, you can basically do it right away. So once you have your SA360 account in place, you can import your Google Ads data, your Bing Ads data within a few clicks. The only thing you need is admin rights on both sides, and it's basically just an application on both sides. For example, if you implement your Google Analytics into your Google Ads, it's working basically the same way, really easy.
All right, thanks for that. Otherwise, with our just as general information, while waiting if anything comes in. Okay, there is something happening in the chat, which is nice. As I said, how much does it cost? So it's basically is a percentage of how much money you spend through it, or let's say how much money the accounts spend that are used through DV360. It ranges between 2.5% and 1% of the actual spend, and it depends on how much money you want to, how much budget you want to get through the tool. If you need any additional information, just shoot us an email, and we can calculate with the numbers you actually have. Another question from Arno. Thanks for that. We do not really use the forecasting functionality. How accurate is it?
Well, when I'm looking at the numbers, I would say it's even more accurate if I'm just looking at what I already know about a previous campaign. So what basically SA360 is doing is calculating if there are previous campaigns, putting it into account and calculate, okay, what's going to happen. I think it's more precise than if an actual person is going to do it. Of course, you have the ability to look above and beyond. So, for example, are there any promotions into any news magazines? Is it in the news at all? But SA360 is just looking at the performance at once. So it's analyzing how previous campaigns performed, also putting it into, okay, what would happen if? And from my point of view, the forecast is quite accurate. But I would say just go with a small campaign, see how the forecast in SA360 is going, and see how your forecast is doing. And at the end, just look how it's going to match. Obviously, it's not applying for every type of campaign, but when it comes to performance campaigns, actually the forecast is quite valid and quite accurate.
In addition to that, is it primarily based on historic data?
No, it's also looking into the markets data. For example, if you look at keyword costs, obviously you can use the Google Ads forecast tool and see how much the competition is on that one. And this is also comes into place as well.
Okay, thanks for answering that one. There's another one coming in from Candice. You mentioned this can be integrated with DV360. How will this work in terms of setup, reporting, etc.? How is it different to running it entirely through DV360?
If I'm getting the question right, you don't apply search ads or basically search, paid search within DV360. DV360 is the display tool, so you can't apply your search campaigns in DV360 itself. You basically have DV360 as your DSP, and you have SA360 as your social engine marketing platform. You can combine all the data. For example, using Data Studio, you can push all the data towards it and just have a look on, okay, how is it going to perform cross-channel attribution-wise and whatnot. You also see all the data combined in your campaign manager, and you can also use your remarketing lists from display. So people who basically watched a banner, you can remarket them on them in SA360. And if that is what your question was about.
Okay, if that answers your question, please shoot another quick message. Otherwise, we've got another message from Malika. Thanks for that. Could you give examples of what type of business data could be useful?
Well, basically everything you can think of business data. So if you, for example, know that the Christmas time is your strongest area, like your strongest period in your business, or if you have Black Friday in place, you can basically say, okay, if Black Friday is happening, I know that my sales will go up 400%. You can put your business data into the bid strategy, so it will apply these data to the bid algorithm. So just think about you have usually you sell 100 items per day, but during Black Friday you sell 1,000 items. If the system doesn't know about it, it assumes that even after Black Friday it's going to sell as much. So it's continuously putting higher bids because it's assuming that you get the same revenue out of it, but it doesn't because it's not Black Friday anymore. But with your business data, you're basically telling the system, okay, this is only happening for 3 days. Please keep that in mind. Another way could be any data you have about your existing clients. So, for example, if you have a list about your existing clients, you can basically upload them into SA360. Of course, this is all GDPR compliant. And just target your existing client, for example, on remarketing purposes, upsell purposes, or just inform them, hey, you haven't used our tool or our app, whatever, please go ahead and do so. You can also use your business data when it comes to existing clients to build lookalike audiences to it. So similar audience, if someone bought your product but only purchased it offline, for example, in a store. But basically, even if you have weather data and you are selling barbecues, you can also, and you know what kind of weather is going to happen, you can also implement those ones. So there's basically no limit about business data.
All right, thanks for that. I hope this answers your question, Malika. I haven't seen any additional questions coming in, so just a fair bit of info from our side. We will continue our webinar series after a small summer break, with on the one hand a lot of listeners being on holiday, but also a few of our consultants being on holiday. We'll continue with additional news on our webinar series in August, so there won't be webinars for the next 4 weeks at least. Until then, you can find all our other webinars in our YouTube channel, and you will find this webinar in our YouTube channel as well shortly. As said, if you've got any questions, also please reach out to us directly. We're more than happy to help. I think that's it. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening. Thanks, Zeno, for the presentation. and I wish everyone a happy afternoon.
Thank you very much, everyone, and have a great day and a quick weekend coming up.